If you're a dancer or an athlete or just any human being that has a neck and shoulders, I have some really great techniques that you can use to help keep your neck and your upper shoulders, your upper trapezius, nice and loosey-goosey as you move throughout your day. Hi everyone, my name is Nikki, and here on this channel we explore both spiritual and physical avenues of connecting with yourself, mind, body, and spirit, so you can live freely, love deeply, and move through life thriving. I have a really special episode for you guys today. This is a routine that has helped me immensely during my overall healing journey and my overall thriving journey, and so I hope that it will help you as much as it's helped me. Enjoy! So we're gonna start with some super simple neck stretches just to get everything warmed up. So I want you to place your hand on your collarbone or kind of on your chest. And then this other hand, we're gonna go for the back of the sternocleidomastoid. Your sternocleidomastoid is this ropey muscle right here. Going to just place the hand here and think about with your bottom hand pulling the skin down. So I'm imprinting my hand into the skin, and then I'm going to feel when I can feel this muscle right here stretching. It's gonna be different for everybody. And then you can also place the fingers around part of the muscle or on the ear to help stretch this. I want your neck to stay long. I don't want you to be like that, unless that just feels good, but we want to keep the neck long. We're kind of going in a diagonal back. Breathe. Other side. So place hand right here, kind of at the attachment point, but also on the chest. And fingers on the sternocleidomastoid, a little bit behind. And we're just going to, you're just gonna tilt until you can feel that stretch. And you can tilt your head in different directions. You wanna feel the stretch. It's gonna be different for everybody. Sometimes I feel it more when I look up. Sometimes it's up and back. But keep the neck long. Now we'll just do a little trapezius stretch. So you can either keep your hand on your shoulder right here, or you can take it back here. It feels better to me if I keep it right here. And other hand at the back of the head. And we're just going to stretch. I want you to feel like you're elongating to the opposite wall. I don't really want you to be collapsing like that. I want you to think about you're reaching and then you're feeling the stretch. Reaching and feeling the stretch. You can do diagonal down if that feels good to you. It doesn't really feel good to me. I don't like this very much, but it might feel good to you. And so diagonal down technique is you kind of look down at your armpit and then you pull, not pull, but you stretch. Breathe and keep your neck long. Again, we're not collapsing. I'm extending my neck, elongating it rather, and then going there. Okay, other side. So I'm placing, I just intuitively place some, like I'm wanting to place it here this time instead of on my chest wall. Sometimes we just have restrictions in different areas, and so you just feel where that is. And then we're going to the back of the head, and you feel where the tension is, and you put your hands there, and you think about pulling the tension apart. Really kind of press into your hands and allow your hands to melt into your fascia, into the muscles. Diagonal down if you want to do that. Make sure you're breathing during all of these. And then we'll do one more. We're just going to interlace the fingers on the back of the head or skull, and we're going where the skull and the neck meet. And I'm just putting my hands underneath that ridge, and I'm going to kind of pull up. When I pull my hands up, and then I'm going to press my head into my hands, and as I'm doing that, I'm rounding my neck forward and stretching these muscles. Again, I'm not collapsing. I'm really pressing into my hands, and then I'm rounding slightly with my neck. This is just gonna open up the back of the neck a little bit, gently. And then if you feel like it, you can kind of mobilize the tissue by keeping your fingers pressed into the scalp and then moving your head back and forth. This will just help to mobilize the tissue a bit. So those were the easy ones. Now we're gonna get into the more complex things that I have for you today. And don't be discouraged if this is challenging for you at first. It takes a lot of time to develop finger strength in order to do this. And if your neck is bothering you, it does not hurt to do this several times a day. Whenever I was doing it multiple times throughout the day, just whenever I feel like I need it. And I still do it at least once a day, just intuitively. But it does take time. And you can also lean against the wall to kind of get some support if that's needed. But we're gonna start with the upper traps. The upper traps are right here. They're here, and they attach to the back of the skull, okay? We're gonna think about the muscle having fibers, and we're trying to get our fingers into those fibers. And then once the muscle lets us in, we're gonna spread the fibers apart, okay? Good. Go in, and you can kind of rock your elbows side to side like this so that you can wiggle your way in through those fibers, and keep breathing. And as you feel them start to let you in, you can start to pull your fingers apart and go like this. And you go slow because we're working really deep, and we don't want to be doing anything superficial because that's not going to help us. We're working really deep here. That's what's going to cause you to get change. It's different than a deep tissue massage. This is myofascial release techniques, deep to the muscle fibers, and see if it's really tight. Another thing I will do, if it's really tight and I'm having trouble getting a grip, I will hold the skin or the fascia, I'll melt with one hand, kind of like hold it in place to create tension. And then with the other hand, I'll get into the fibers. There it went. And as you can see, I have my fingers stacked on top of each other. This just kind of creates more power so that it's not all just on one finger. These are just ways that you can get in deeper. There we go, now it's loosening up. And you can do it all around here and also the back of the neck. And make sure you have your posture upright. Like, we don't want to be like this. You don't want to be like that. You want your posture to be upright and in a good position when you're doing this. And so I'm changing my grip now, and I'm gonna address the traps like this. And so getting in, making sure that my neck is aligned, that I'm not pushing my head forward, and I'm going up the side of this muscle. The spine is right here, and then you have muscles on either side of the spine. So you just want to work on the muscles. You don't really need to work on the spine. It's not really going to feel good. Okay? And see, if I go fast, I can't get in. Like, it's very superficial. But if I go slow and take my time to wiggle into the muscle fibers, that's when, and really kind of push my head back into my fingers, that's when I can get deeper and actually get a good change. So I'm just changing the position again, getting in, wiggling, getting into the fibers. And I like to kind of go on the side of the neck as well with this technique. And another thing, sometimes I'll notice that I'm kind of doing this with my shoulder, and so it'll create like a knot. And so when I feel myself doing that, I think about taking my shoulder blade and going whoosh, like instead of letting it do that, so instead of that, this. And that helps me to get in deeper. And then we're going to pinch. I like to work on the inside. So if you can see where like it attaches to the neck back here and then it goes like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pinch really strong fingers. And this is, like I said, it's gonna take time to develop the strength to really do this. But if you just do it every day, it really doesn't take too long. Maybe a couple weeks of doing it every day and you'll have the strength, and then all your friends will love you because you can get into their knots really easy, because if you can do it on yourself, you can really easily do it on other people. So what I'm doing is I'm really grabbing the muscle, and then when I'm grabbing it, I'm using either my thumb or my finger, and I'm grabbing the muscle, and then that's exactly what I'm doing. Really hard. I'm not grabbing the skin, I'm getting into the muscle, and I'm really grabbing it, and I'm waiting for some of the tension to go away. Breathe, and then once I get in there really good, then I start to do this little twisty, almost like this little money sign. So that's what I'm doing here. Getting in. Sometimes you have to reposition. And you can slightly bring your shoulder up, but don't bring it up like that. Bring it up like that if you need to. But if you don't need to, then don't do it. Sometimes the muscle won't let me grab it, so I'll just do what I'm doing now, and I'll kind of do some quicker, deeper passes, getting into the muscle fibers. Really getting in. And once I get a hold of it, breathe. You can really press into it. You can also take your hand on your elbow to kind of give support. And then just moving it. These are different things. This is a little different from the money sign thing that I just showed you. Then I'll grab it. And if you notice, I'm going all the way along the upper trap. And then I'll grab it and can lift it and shake a little bit if that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it feels helpful, you can do it. It might hurt, pain is subjective, but if it's a good hurt, then do it. Then I like to get right here. This one can sometimes be a little hard to grab. Really get in. Got a really good grip on it, and I'll just move my head around. I'll do that with other knots that I feel. I'm gonna close your eyes if you need to. This kind of just helps to mobilize more. So if I have a knot right here, let's say, you have to be able to get in really deep here. And then you can make sure you got a hold of it before you start moving. You might have to give your body time to let you sink in. But then when you got it, so there's that. So make sure you repeat on the other side. Don't just do one side, make sure you do both sides. We're not gonna do that here. You can just skip back to the timestamp and do the other side. Another way you can do that technique when you're grabbing it is you can actually lean forward in a forward fold. And this is gonna make it a lot easier on your arms if your arms are getting tired while doing this. Experiment with it that way as well. Now we're gonna address the back of the neck. So we're gonna be working where the skull and the neck meet. So you can feel your bone, and we're gonna be working all around this ridge. So I want you to take your knuckles and really deeply massage. So I'm not like doing this. You can, that's helpful. You could do that to warm up. So let's just do that to warm up. I'm going on the skull now. A little behind the ears. And this is actually a very important area. Not only do we hold a lot of tension back here, but the muscles of the eyes actually connect to the back of the skull in this occiput region. And so if the muscles are tight, it can affect your vision, and it can also cause migraines, like light sensitivity. Okay, now we're just going to really slowly with the knuckles, if that feels good, kind of going behind the ear, and just slowly melting in. And now I'm at the ridge where the neck and the skull meet. Just loosening that up a bit. Now a little bit lower. Keep the neck in proper alignment. Now I'm doing the same thing. I'm just using my fingers instead. Really slow. See how deep I'm getting in? I'm not doing this. No, no, no. I'm getting in. I'm going pretty far forward. Getting in. And I'm just feeling where there's tightness, and I'm loosening it behind the ears. Now we're on the skull, on the scalp. And if that's causing any type of like neck tension, something I used to do whenever it would cause me neck tension is I would just lean against a wall and I would do one side at a time. I get propped up, get my hand in place, and then use the wall to rest my hand, and it helps you to go deeper. So I will lean against the wall. I get my elbow in position. Make sure you're having good posture. Chest is open, head is back, and I'm gonna get in. So I'm kind of leaning, and then just going to let the weight of my body do the work. You can even move your head side to side. And so you just want to work all through here on both sides. Okay. And while I have you right here, I'm going to show you a trick that I use. So I love to use the corner of a wall to help with big muscle knots, because there's a lot of areas where I can't reach, but I work on myself. I haven't gone to a masseuse in forever, but I've been able to release all my own knots and tension and all of this with my own hands, but then also using the corner of a wall. And so I kind of lean, so I find the knot, And then I think about getting the wall in between the muscle fibers. Kind of wiggle around, breathe, and think about doing this with your scapula, your shoulder blades. Keep them down. And so I'll get into the muscle fibers, and then once I'm in, just start to wiggle. And I'll use this hand to press from the opposite side. And you can do circles, but go really slow. And you can move in different directions, you'll feel it. I'm stuck, I'm just doing this. I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. And then, when you do that for a while, then you can do a little bit of movement. I will kind of get right behind the knot, and then very slowly, I will start to drag. Ooh. And so I'm kind of like scraping, but I'm in really deep and I'm going really slow, okay? Just think about getting in between all those muscle fibers. And you can do this for the entire back and the chest as well. That's really good for when you don't have anybody that can help you. That's been a lifesaver for me. Of course, using the wall to stretch the chest is always important. A lot of times the neck can be hurting because the chest is closed. And so the chest is pulling the neck forward. And so also addressing the chest is very important. Opening the chest, getting the chest wall released, and using the wall is really helpful for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video here. Those were my top 3 favorite things that I do pretty much on a daily basis to help keep my neck feeling loosey-goosey and free. Again, make sure you do both sides. Even if you just do a little bit of the other side, even if it's not like super tight, it's good to go in and address it, because a lot of times if we're feeling pain on one side, it's actually the other side that's causing it. So it actually might be a lot tighter than you realize. So it's always good to just go in there and make sure that you don't overdo this, especially for starting out, because it can overwhelm your nervous system and then you might end up being really sore the next day, depending on how aggressive you are. I tend to be really aggressive. Don't panic if you have a little bit of soreness, or just keep doing it, just keep doing it. It takes time for the body to hold on to the results, but it's the consistency that will keep the results, and maintaining proper posture. And I'll go into proper posture in another video. So if you like the video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.